This is Carl Eller, and you're watching the One Bar and Lepagas show.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lepagas show. I'm One Bar with Lepagas, and the Vikings are absolutely blowing their load, launching coaching requests all over the floor. So we got 7 coaches to talk about. Vikings are just going all in.
You either disgusted me or made me completely aroused. I'm not sure which one it is yet. I'll find out soon enough. Yeah, the Vikings, they went from quiet on the coaching front to all of a sudden just their radar's got a bunch of red on it.
Yeah, a bunch of red and some very good names, some very familiar names. We're going to talk about them very quickly. We just did one on Todd Bowles because he was the first one that leaked out. So he's definitely on this list. But before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video, getting the 5,000 subs, hashtag skull in your hole for a chance to win a Vikings jersey of your choice, One Bar and Lepagas hoodie, and a One Bar and Lepagas ball cap to play catch with the boy in.
And don't just, put hashtag skull in your hole. Truly, always keep your skull in your hole.
Yes. Let's do this. So 7. One thing we got to talk about quick is they're requesting all these interviews and we do not have a GM. So that's one thing. But Will Ragetz, SI, said that he just tweeted out that they have their 8 GM candidates. So I don't know if that's all this is their 8. They're going to pick from that. So that's one thing about Mike Borgonzi is not on that list. So dream's over.
But the Elite 8.
Maybe they're interviewing these GMs and saying, look, these are our coaches. Maybe they're giving some option. Who knows? Yeah. We will find out. But something tells me it's coming soon.
Yeah. So let's get to the names. I'm getting excited.
Let's get to the names. Todd Bowles. We already talked about him. I think we both agree that he's not very high on our list. Definitely valid of an interview, but I think we both would like to go a different option.
He's earned his shot to be interviewed, but not really who I want to see here in Minnesota.
All right, well, let's stick with the defensive side. We'll start with the defensive coaches first. So Todd Bowles, we got Dan Quinn, Cowboys, one of the best defenses in the league. We know what he did with Seattle. He had some very, very good defenses.
He had some good years with Atlanta. Brought him right to the Super Bowl. Again, that thing kind of fell apart. I think he's just one of these guys we said about Todd Bowles. I think he's better suited for the defensive coordinator role. Yeah, he'll probably get another shot as a head coach. Personally, I understand why they're reaching out to him, checking with him. Our defense is horseshit. It's horrible. And everybody wants an offensive-minded coach. I do too. I get the interview. Not super excited about it myself.
Yeah, that would be one of the ones. I'm just going to not really think that he's overly in the running. If it happens, then I'll have to mentally get there. But I'm not there yet. Yep. Other defensive coordinators, Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan freaking Gannon. I don't believe any relation to Rich Gannon. So this name was one that I was not expecting to see on the list.
Yeah, Eagles defense is a little better than people think this year. Solid on both sides of the ball. But again, just a name. I don't never really heard of him. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about Jonathan Gannon, but not one of the names that's going to excite a lot of people. The Vikings to actually go this route and hire this guy. I'm sure he's earned his chance for this interview, but I think I got him below Todd Bowles.
Yeah, he's below Todd Bowles. Eagles defensive coordinator for just this year. Fun fact, he was the Vikings assistant defensive backs coach from 2014 to 2017.
So he's got ties. He's got ties to the organization. Maybe he's coming home. I like him a little bit more now.
I would love for them to hire them back as the assistant Vikings defensive back coach.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That would be absolutely fine.
All right, one final defensive minded coach, and this will be a very familiar name to sports fans all around. DeMeco Ryans, San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. Has been with the Niners since 2017. This is his first year as the coordinator, and he's been a pretty hot name this year.
Hell, I mean, this is crazy that he's being considered for a coach when I remember him coming out for the draft. That's how old we are getting. Where did you say he was coaching last? I can only just picture him in the Texans. That's all
He's the Niners defense coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, Niners defense, always tough, always physical. That's something the Vikings you want to see, that defensive side of the ball get a lot more physical. If he could bring that here, great. As the head coach, again, I just feel this is the team that has to go the offensive route. But if he's truly the best candidate for the job, he's a name that we all know, playing linebacker in the NFL for many years. I wouldn't hate it. I would need to warm up to it. But again, lower tiered, but I'd be okay with DeMeco Ryans.
We're going to get into the sexy names here on the offensive side of the ball here. But when it comes to defensive coaches that we went over, I would almost want DeMeco Ryans over these other guys, is just because we're throwing a Hail Mary. You know, we're going to get in Dan Quinn. You know, we're going to get with some of these other guys. D'Amico Ryan, you know, players are going to love this guy. You know, he's going to be a player's coach. So I would actually want him over any other defensive guys.
And that's just what I was going to say. This guy, you know, it wasn't that long ago when he was playing. He knows that locker room. He knows how guys get along. I think he will be a coach players would run through a wall through. And that's what we need after Zimmer. After what you've hearing about Zimmer, you know, leading through fear, not having great relationships with the players. I think we need that guy who's a complete 180 from Mike Zimmer. Not going to say 360 this time, 180.
Yeah, I've been saying 360 my whole life, and I've been getting it wrong because I'm a complete idiot. But I got to say, just going over these names, I mean, the fact that they're requesting these guys, one of these guys is going to be our next coach. I'm getting very excited in my mid-range.
Really?
Yes, I am. So here, let's go to the offensive coordinator that are getting reviews that I think will up against interviews. Let's start off with Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell, drafted by the Patriots quarterback. Remember him very well. I think it was like 08 draft, 09.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Kevin O'Connell being with the Rams offense, that is a creative offense. Look at the way they use Cooper Kupp. They're like, this is our best player. We're going to put him all over our offense, not only to be targeted, but to draw coverages off so we can open things up to Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham Jr. The way they use him is genius. And Kevin O'Connell has a lot to do with that. That's somebody that's actually pretty enticing to see an offense that we could have that could actually be up to the modern day NFL, use their weapons the way they should be used. And maybe we won't see so many 3-and-outs, which I just saw a stat that the Minnesota Vikings, I think, led the league in 3-and-outs last year.
Yes. Kevin O'Connell. Yes, this is another guy you can't be not excited about him because he hasn't had a chance. He fits the mold, the young up and coming coach, Sean McVay, but he's bounced around a little bit. He was the offensive coordinator for Washington in 2019, and they were the worst offense like in the league. And when Ron Rivera came, he did have a horseshit team, but last in the league. And Ron Rivera, when he came there, he did not retain his services. So all of a sudden, he just went to the Rams offensive coordinator after. I mean, Ron Rivera, if he's handed this great prodigy, why wouldn't you keep him? I don't know. I'm not off of Kevin O'Connell, but he's definitely last on my list as far as these guys.
Well, he went to the Rams that had weapons, made that thing work. He would come to Minnesota. He would have weapons. I don't even know who was on that 2019.
Adrian maybe Peterson.
And maybe Josh Doxson.
Maybe
he's with the Vikings then.
I don't know. Josh Doxson. I was glad he's with the Vikings. So Kevin O'Connell, there you have it. 38 years old. We will see. Next one. Got a hair in my throat.
Awesome.
Next up, Nathaniel Hackett, Packers offensive coordinator. Been there since 2019.
Yeah, we already talked about Nathaniel Hackett. Again, you got Aaron Rodgers. Really hard to justify how good of offensive coordinator are when you're playing with one of the best quarterbacks who's ever played the game. But again, the thing I like about Hackett, you know, you always go back to the Blake Bortles fact, what he got out of Blake Bortles, which is maybe something Kevin O'Connell couldn't have done with, I don't know who was the quarterback of that Washington team. I don't know.
Keenum.
But Hackett, he's had success with great quarterbacks. He's had success with bad quarterbacks. He's using receivers like Allen Lazard, Valdez, Scantles, and you know, he's even getting run with old man. What's that old tight end they got? There's been around Mercedes Lewis every now and then.
Lewis.
So he's using his weapons. He's getting down the depth chart, getting production, all these guys. So he'd be okay. But again, not a guy who super excites me. But I do like stealing somebody from the Packers.
Everything you just went over just completely lifts this guy up and says how awesome he is. And then at the end, you say, I'm not super excited about it.
I just don't got the feeling for him. It's just me, just personal.
If you can get Blake Bortles to the AFC Championship game, and go look at the rest of that offense, it wasn't booming. So what I like about him is he's done it in multiple spots. That's it. So like with O'Connell, he's done it with a very stacked Rams offense. At least Hackett has done it in more than one spot and proved it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the number one Hackett fan, but he's probably in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's toward that bottom of that, maybe the top 5, top half of the, top half of the dirty dozen. But he's just, I don't know. He doesn't get me excited.
Not much gets you excited. Let's talk about one guy who does get you excited. Kellen Moore, Cowboys offensive coordinator, this big shiny toy, the boomer bust type guy that has so this is where I'm confused. You don't get excited about other guys, but you get excited about a guy who has been handed this team on a silver platter that I think you could go lead this offense to the top 5 offense.
Well, I mean, I've already said it. Yeah, he's got a lot of weapons, but you really look around the league, there's more teams that have weapons than teams that don't have weapons. So I think that's kind of
But he's got the offensive line as well.
He does, but he's not just, like I said, he's not just focusing on Cooper and CeeDee Lamb or feeding Ezekiel Elliott. He's getting run over guys like Cedric Wilson, Dalton Schultz, even Blake Jarwin gets some touches, Tony Pollard. I mean, he's using everything he has, and he's made this.
Those are still pretty damn good players, though.
Offenses in the entire league. So I don't know if that's really fair to say. The fact that he's still so young is what's probably the most concerning. He's definitely boomer bust, but that's the way a lot of teams have gone. Look at the Bengals. They went young coach. They're in the playoffs. Rams got Sean McVay. They're in the playoffs. It's the trend right now in the NFL. It's a copycat league. I think he's one of the front runners for this job, assuming he interviews well. And you got another thing that's going to factor in is how long Dallas makes this playoff run, how soon the Vikings want this head coach in charge. But he's at the top of my list. I want Kellen Moore. I want him about midseason when it looked pretty evident that Mike Zimmer's time with the club is going to be over. And he does give me that good feeling. He does get me excited.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single person that does not want Kellen Moore. I mean, he's just the easy, sexy name to go after. So Kellen Moore, I mean, he's definitely in my, I mean, as far as this list of 7, if I could pick anyone, I would go all in on Kellen Moore. I might as well. Why not? Go Kellen Moore, but Hackett's, I mean, as far as this list, Hackett would actually probably be my number 2. D'Amico Ryans would probably be pretty up there too. I really don't want Kevin O'Connell. I'm sorry.
Sounds like it. Well, I kind of like him.
2 guys that are not on this list, Brian Dable and Byron Leftwich. So that dream appears to be dead.
Who knows? I mean, maybe they're still going to do some more interviews, but
they're just saving them for last or what?
That's 7. We go through 7 already.
We went through 7. Those are our 7.
Fast.
So some big names out. I mean, we decided if we could each ever take at it, we'd take Kellen Moore. Let us know in the comments who you want.
No Eric Bieniemy either.
No Eric Bieniemy. So maybe this isn't the final list. We will see, and we'll let you know 100%.
We'll be on here when there's more names added to this thing. Damn right we will. So that's 8 names for head coach. We have 9 for GM?
No, that's 7 names. We have 8 for GM.
I mean, I'm counting Bulls. Did you count him as part of the 7?
Yep.
All right, so 7 for head coach, 8 for GM. They're, it's not like the Bears net. They're not throwing it to everybody out there, but I do like that there's quite a few here that they're looking at. So, and both sides of the ball. Vikings are definitely doing their due diligence here. And I hope they remember this when they're interviewing these candidates, that laziness can be a sign of superior intelligence.